Good evening on the Suffolk Ram.
Skazz, yes.
Welcome to episode 268 of the Randers podcast. It's getting up there. Not long now. 300.
268, mate.
Yeah. This time next year will be 300.
Mate, we're like old fogies of the podcasting world, mate. I mean, 300 is pretty intense. Like getting into the 200s is intense.
Yeah. We've done all right. We're okay. We've done all right.
Considering most people pod fade by like 50.
Yeah. Sheer brute force. We're very much working on the quantity over quality, though, aren't we? In terms of podcasting.
Damn right. You damn. I was about to say the same fucking thing. You damn right.
I keep telling you,
come here for quality.
I keep telling you, I'm tempted. You can sometimes when they like launch like satellites up, they let you like buy. You can buy like for a small like segment of time on them for like a small times. I'm half tempted to like sort of just temporarily buy a little block just to like load our podcast up on loop.
That would be hilarious. That would be absolutely hilarious. If this happens to be the episode that gets put up there, I'm really sorry. You poor bastards.
Well, I'll try and edit something together out of all 260 episodes. So I might get like 10 minutes, you know, stuff like that.
So it could be like how many times we can say, "Oh fuck that, okay? That's retarded." Yeah. Fucking British school system, mate.
Yeah, yeah. The games are not expensive. What's wrong with you?
Stop being such a peasant.
Yeah, spend your money and like it.
Spend the money, but you'll own nothing and you'll like it.
Well, exciting times for me, Skazz.
Why?
I am now the proud owner of 3 pedigree pigs.
Right.
I've been wanting for
certificates.
Yeah, they're coming. Waiting for the certificates to come through. We've got to. It's a half and half.
Are these photocopy certificates of authenticity?
Yeah. They're all registered. Yeah, they have to. They're registered with the British Pig Association. Me and my friend have got to set our accounts up because I've gone half with a friend, so we've got to set our account up. So there's 6 between us. We've got to set our account up, give ourselves a herd name, and get more transfers.
This is like a farmer's idea of a gaming clan.
It is, yeah, basically, yes.
You've got your land pigs.
Yeah. And plan is next year, Norfolk show them.
Never quite understood Norfolk show, to be fair. But
it's a big cultural show that's in Norfolk, so they call it the Norfolk show. That's really what it's as I said to my friend, I said it's a great place to go if you want to buy double glazing or sheds.
Yep. Or watch cows shit.
Well, that's just part and parcel. Yeah, there's lots of cows shitting at Norfolk show, but you can come down. You can watch my pig shit.
Oh, there you go. Everyone, Norfolk show, whenever it is, outside of Norfolk. Ram pig shit. You can watch it. Ready?
Yeah.
See you there.
See the pig shit.
Check that out. That's Ram's pig. He's having a shit.
She's having a
prize.
Shit. Or she's.
She's having You dirty bastard.
Well, yeah. You know.
Okay, should be what Ram, you're into some really fucked up stuff watching a woman shit.
This comes with the territory. Sometimes you see in we.
Well, and in public.
The other week I was filling up the water trough at the main pen, and our boar and one of the outside to give me a show.
Wow, I mean,
yeah. literally outside my window, I just could sit there. So got the phone out, recorded that.
Ram's office is just chilling out, looks out the window. Oh,
yeah.
Hello. Why, thank you.
Yeah. So I'll get that recorded for posterity.
Ram's got his own version of Pornhub going now.
People want to see. Have you got any pictures? Have you got any videos of your pigs? I have got a video of the pigs. Here you go.
You're like, no! The fuck is this?
It's great.
Ram's fun. Like, yeah.
Save that for later.
So what made you decide to do this then, Ram?
I've been wanting to get pedigree pigs for some time. I've discussed it with my friend, and we came with a bit of luck. So we'd lost a couple of our sows, and I originally had planned to get some like gilt young pigs, and I was going to go buy like 3, get them, grow them to like for like a year, and then start breeding them.
Yeah.
But we lost a couple of our sows, and we was getting a little bit desperate because like, oh, it's going to get a bit tight for pigs. And then he got a phone call from a nearby company that he knew one of the people who worked there, and they said, oh, they were doing a project with some pedigree sows, and they happen to be the same breed that we have on the farm, but they decided not to do it anymore. And so we've got 6 sows that we don't need anymore. Do you want them? And it was like, well, that kind of sort of feels a bit like, I'm not necessarily a great believer in fate, but that feels like fate that when we needed pigs, they had 6 of their pedigree, and they're the right breed, and they're ready to go. It's like, they're quite expensive. They were, 2/3 of a gaming PC between 4 or 6 of them. But we saw.
Wait, are we talking about your 2/3 of a gaming PC?
My 2/3 of a gaming
PC?
My 2/3 of a gaming PC.
That's not actually that bad, to be fair. I mean, I don't know how much a pig goes for these days, but that doesn't sound too bad to me for 6.
They're about roughly 3 to 4 times the price of a regular pig as a rule of thumb.
So what makes them pedigree then? What makes them worth that price?
Same as a pedigree dog thing, that we've got full traceability of their entire heritage. You can go back all the way back to they started recording pedigree herds back in 1886 is when the British Pigs actually started. So that's when you saw like the herd books all started. So you can go back and trace their full lineage back.
So you can't just go to like heritage.com or 23andMe or whatever and just rub your pig and go, hey, yeah, where's it come from?
No, you can't. I'm not sure what happened if you sent a sample for the pig to 23andMe. Particularly if you,
hilarious.
Yeah. So imagine if you sent like a sample for yourself and then some for the pig, and it came back as a match. That,
well, well,
turns out you're adopted, and
I always felt different.
it was the trotters and the snout that gave it away. I should have seen the signs.
Fucking hell. So all right. So what happens now? You've got 6 pigs for 2/3 of a gaming PC. Which, let's be fair, who needs a gaming PC these days, right? I mean, well, no. You say 2/3 of a gaming PC is what you're saying is you got 6 pigs for about the value of an Nvidia graphics card.
I've got my pigs are worth 3 Switch consoles, Switch 2 consoles. So
And they're not overpriced shit. Can't eat a Nintendo Switch.
So the plan is, we're going to put them to. We have them quarantined at the moment because we don't make sure they've got any diseases that could hurt our pigs.
Yeah.
Then they will go.
Hang on, but if they're pedigree, surely they're being.
They've all been vaccinated, but it's a bit like they may have like versions
like
of
when
virus.
you take a dog abroad or whatever. But I just thought that they've all kind of been checked before.
You can, but it's like humans. You can vaccinate against a lot of things in humans. You can't cover everything. You can't cover viruses, for example.
Well, no, but I mean, I just assumed that because these are kind of like pedigree big boy things that have had regular thermometer checks and stuff.
But they may be carriers for something that they haven't. You can't check everything. It's a bit like it's a bit like sending your children to school. They come back with some virus that somebody hasn't brought back with them because they're just all disease
but what I mean is more just the idea that they're in quarantine now. I would have just assumed that would have all been done before you.
No, because you're quarantined because they may have picked something up from the previous farm. Okay. So you quarantine to protect your farm. Truth of the matter is you're probably fine, but you don't want to risk it in case they have got like some version of a virus that your lot hasn't had, and then you bring them up and they all get ill.
Yeah.
You don't. That's what you're quarantining for. So you quarantine for 6 weeks, and then after 6 weeks, we're going to split them into pairs. Because we don't want, and we're going to put a pair at a time to our boar, our normal boar, not our pedigree. We ain't got not a pedigree boar, it's just a normal boar. And that's basically to get them what it's cycling. So they'll get bred, they'll have piglets, and they'll be there in the cycle. Yeah. We're doing a pair at a time because, frankly, if you put all 6 down there, I think he'd kill himself from exhaustion.
Does that mean then, if they're any, obviously if it's not a pedigree boar, they'll be
split. So the first lot will be just mongrel pig. There'll be mongrel piglets because our boar is in a purebred.
Yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying. They'll be like basically trash pigs.
They will be, but this is purely to get them cycling. So it basically gets them into a cycle of breeding. So when they get, because basically pigs will start when you wean the piglets off them, they start cycling again within 5 days. Sure. So you basically control when they're going to get in pig.
So how much is it going to cost you to get access to a pedigree geezer then?
So
or are you going to get a pedigree geezer, or are you going to rent one?
No, we're going to artificially inseminate. Because it's the best, easiest way to do it. You can buy, so basically you have to do 3 doses of sows. So you do day 1, 2, and 3, 3 lots of insemination. You can buy a full set like dosing kit, which is your semen, your catheters, which you use to do the actual impregnating stuff, all the bits and pieces you need basically. £45 you buy the sort of dose for. It comes currently mainly being shipped from Ireland. So of all places. So basically what you do is you basically, when you see the first size that might be going to season, you basically then order it because pig semen doesn't keep very well when it's refrigerated. It has to be sort of kept almost semi-warm. So it's got a very short shelf life. So you literally order it, then on the next day they collect it, and then they send it to you the next day, and then you've got your 3 doses to give to your sows. And that's £45 a pop. So if you're doing 2, it's 90 quid. But then you're getting pedigree semen into a pedigree sow, and then they'll have pedigree piglets. Then you have to register the piglets when they're born. But the intention is, what we're doing, me and friend are doing, what we've agreed is any sow that's born, or gilt, I should say, I'm going to basically sell. And any boar that's born, he's going to have to use for sausages. And that'll be across all 6. So we'll be roughly 50-50 on average.
I mean, could you keep like one of the little geezers at some point if somehow you get more pedigree lassies that you can then breed him with?
Yes, you
could.
Then
you do the same thing as the bull. You get the semen and send it off and do the fucking thing, or like by order from Ram.
Yeah, you could do. The thing is with pedigree boars is it's because there's a lot more competition for pedigree boars. You have to get a really good one. There's a lot more competition. It's something that's fairly hard to get into. It's not impossible, of course, but because obviously a boar can do lots of sows, but you need a boar can pregnate. One boar, if you've got here, you can sell your semen to dozens of sows, but a sow can only be with one boar. That makes, it's going to sound awful, the sows not as worth as much because they're limited. But at the same time, the market's a lot smaller because people buy like half a dozen sows, then they'll buy semen but then they'll buy like their semen from one boar. So you don't need the market. So the competition to sell boars a lot more. So basically, the boars are not worthless, but to get a decent one is probably not worth it. But the thing is, we'll probably end up like when our boar, who's with our non-pedigrees, when he gets old, we'll keep one back to replace him.
Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of going to say, because at the end of the day, if you've got pedigrees, the last thing you want to be doing is paying someone else to end up with more to keep your pedigree, if you get what I mean. Yeah,
but true. But then you'd then have to basically set up a separate flock, because obviously then you're going to have your sons mating with their mother.
Yeah, no, of course. No, well, that's why I said to you, if you get any more.
Yeah, so you could do that.
If you had a boar with your current set, and then you were to somehow, for some reason, get more.
But
pedigree sows.
People look at the boars to see what the boars are, because the boars tell you a lot about what you're going to get out the other end, because they control so many factors in the pig. So people spend a lot of time researching the boars, what they're going to use. So whatever boar you use, you've got to do your research, and so you almost advertise we've bred our pigs with this boar to sort of show.
That seems very narrow, very limiting, very. I don't know.
It's no real different to dog breeding. So if you get a pedigree dog,
yeah, I know. But then if you look at pedigree dogs these days and the number of shite problems they've all got, you've got a dog that's worth a small fortune. But
if you go to reputable breeders and find the reputable breeders, they'll give you all the background and stuff, and you have to do your research, and a lot of it is word of mouth. people in the know who the real reputable ones are, and they'll have like, particularly like dogs that can have in their bloodlines medical conditions. There'll be more. You'll find ones who've like done all the testing and all the scoring and stuff. They'll sort of like back themselves up. So
Still seems a bit funky to me, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit different to. From my understanding, pigs aren't as vulnerable as like dogs are, because a dog breed is so different to another dog breed. They tend to have a lot more problems, whereas pigs are pigs. They're not quite the variety. I mean, they all are basically. I mean, you don't get quite the same range you do in, say, dog breeds, so it's not quite so bad. But you still got to be a little bit like you want to like know what you want to produce. So it's not quite the same as just putting any old pig to any old ball. You have to be a little bit more careful, but that's our plan. And our first batch of piglets will be non-pedigree piglets. Will be Christmas time, and then our first batch of pedigree piglets will be about this time next year.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah. My friend said to me, says, you have to, when you register them, you have to like do like marks, like register all the individual piglets and all the spots and stuff. Like, will they put mark to go? Right. Yes, it says you're in charge of that. he said, I ain't got the patience. That you're in charge of that bit. So, oh, okay, yeah.
Is that where they give you a picture of a shit? Like they give you a picture. They give you a sheet. They give you a picture of the pig.
Yeah.
And then you have to get there. You're sat there with your crayon.
From what I understand, yes. From my
Good job.
understanding, yes. You have to mark where all the markings are, so you can identify them, and then you tattoo their ears to mark there to show who's who, and then you register them. But it means you can also sell the meat as pedigree meat as well. So, okay. But we've got the next step is to join the biggest pig association. Can't have a herd name, so they're all registered and stuff. And yeah, I'll be this time next year. I'll be showing, or next June, I'll be showing my pigs. I'm
expecting a Hogs of War reference at some point.
Yeah, well, oh yeah, Hogs, yeah. Well, the trouble is, the namings are so restrictive. Like, I've looked at the rules, so you can't. It has to be a single name, right?
Right.
It can't be a derivative of your name.
Right.
It can't be. It can't be like a place name. Unless the place isn't very well known. How they decide this, right. I don't know. But you couldn't have England for obvious reasons, because that's quite well known. I hear.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently so.
Never fucking heard of it. What are the bollocks?
Yeah. No, you're part Scottish, so it's Scotland and that other place below us.
That shithole.
Yeah.
That place south of the wall. Fuck them.
He says as he lives in that shithole.
And that's partly why.
Yeah. Could leave though.
I will say the class of people hasn't got any better since I got here, so.
Well, no, you pulled it down, mate.
I try.
You're very good at lowering an average, and
it's a skill.
Yeah. So we've got to come up with a name, get them transferred into a name, get all registered, and yeah, get all on into the herd book. So it's all very exciting, very, very exciting.
Yeah, your name's going to be in your name and your clan. It's going to be in a book. This is going to be the history book, and everyone's going to be, oh fucking hell, look at all these pigs. Oh yeah, Suffolk Ram, mate. Fucking what a legend, mate. Yeah.
That's going to confuse people. The Suffolk Ram pigs. That's really going to confuse people. It's like, what? I'm trying to control if it's my friend because we're trying to find sort of names, and I was going to name all my three after characters from The Expanse.
For God's sake. Right.
Yeah. But I'm tempted now to see if I can convince him, because the main spaceship in The Expanse is called the Rocinante. So I'm trying to see if I can convince him that perhaps we call the herd the Rocinante.
Right. Does he not have any ideas like, the 6 little pigs?
It's got to be one word.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, yeah, just don't put a space in it.
I use fucking...
Do it like it's online, mate.
Fucking hyphens.
Yeah, just fucking, mate, just do it like you're doing an online name, mate.
Yeah.
Just fucking,
Supreme_pigs.exe.
Yeah. Fucking, you've got it. That's what I'm saying to you, mate. You're like, oh, yeah, just gotta be one thing. It's like, we'll find a way around this.
Yeah.
Comp sci students.
Yeah. You can't be spacing your file name. Welcome to the underscore. And then I could call the piglets like piglets final version final version 2 prototype final for real this time final.
Beta.
yeah, base. Yeah.
Gold release.
That's what I'm gonna call the hard.
RC1.
That's what I'm gonna call the piglets that come from our non-pedigree board, the beta piglets. You know, they've got some of the sort of foundations in there, but they're not quite right.
They're not quite ready for prime time.
No.
Oh well.
Yeah. A mega
You might be able to
pigs.
ship it off as a decent product, but
A mega pigs,
mate.
ultramarine pigs, and then I can paint.
I was going to say you're going to start painting them blue.
But the farm is called the blue is the name of the farm name. So ultramarine pigs, right, and then I can start putting the omega symbol, the gold omega symbol, on them as our farm marking because they'll be the ultramarines for Warhammer 40,000.
Oh god, mate! If they find out that you're doing that, they'll probably go right. You see these sows they bought. You know the 6 pedigrees. Strike them from the record.
What are they called? Gilliman, Dawn.
Oh dear. Well, I'm glad you got a plan, man.
Most people show their pigs in a white shirt and tie and suit. I'm going to tap them some power armor.
I was gonna, like I said, I was gonna say, I was expecting if you did a Hogs of War thing, I want to see like sauerkraut cosplay, like dress them up.
Could do, yeah. How to get banned from the Norfolk show.
That'd be hilarious, mate.
Yeah.
I'd help.
The great thing is you do it because you just know that nobody would get the reference. None of the farmers would, but there'd be somebody there. There'd be some nerdy one who's been dragged to the Norfolk show and is going around, and all of a sudden he sees Hogs of War and he'll go, ah. That's the same as if I went to Ultramarines, you see. They'd go there and they'd see the Ultramarine pigs, they'll go, hang on a second.
Mate, look, let's be fair. If you said ultramarine pigs, I think far more people are going to catch that, which makes it less funny. Possibly,
but no farmers would. As far as I'm aware, I am the only farmer who watches sci-fi. I've never met anyone else who does. I've spoken to loads of them, and most of them have no clue.
You're a rare breed, Ram.
I am a rare breed, like my pigs.
Very good. Very good. Wow. Okay. Wow. I did not expect this at all, but good job, man. Good job for your 2/3 of a gaming PC.
I'll send you the photos later.
Oh, mate, and the video.
Because, boy, I tell you what, they are big girls. They're big.
Right. I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Ram. I have no idea. They're pigs.
They are.
What is a fucking big pig?
These are big pigs. Big
right,
girls.
Are we talking like motherfuckers had too many cheeseburgers big, or?
Oh no, they're not. They are appropriately big. They're not like, you know. This is more like big girl, you're beautiful, for example. Less. It's all about the base type situation.
Right. Okay, yeah, all right.
I'll start playing the Mika next time I see him.
Oh, mate. All right.
But I guess because I'm on the farm next week, I can spend a lot of quality time with them because I have got the tame them, because if I'm going to show them, I need to tame them.
All right.
Yep.
I bet you do.
Spend lots of quality time with them.
Well, I guess we won't be hearing from Ram for a while.
Marvellous.
Wonderful.
So we talk about things we've been playing, if anything.
Well, Ram's been playing his pigs, mate, or he will be.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know how it is. You know how it is.
First he's playing with himself, then he's playing with his pigs. Good job. Right, I'm going to ask, you're starting off, have you played anything?
Yes.
Holy shit. Okay, so I was going to say, have you played anything, or am I carrying this one? Because, you know, normally it's your job to carry this.
It's not Stranded Alien Dawn.
Horse shit.
No, it's not.
I don't believe you.
I play a game that I've forgotten the name of, so I'm going to very quickly load Steam up to remind
What is this about? What is this about? Yeah, mate, I've been playing a game, and oh, mate, I forgot what it was, innit?
I always get the name wrong every single time.
Barbie's Horse Adventure.
There is that, but
Ram's Pig Adventure.
That's Ram's Pig Adventure. That's in development as we speak. I have been playing. I think it's called Pacific Drive. Yes, it is called Pacific Drive. I was correct.
I think it's called, and then he goes, "Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I didn't just make that up."
Pacific Drive. It's a fun. It's strange game. It's basically, what if Stalker was set in America and you had a car? So the basic premise is something. It's an alternative history game. Something happened in the 90s. America, they were doing some research in what they call limb technology. And something happened and goes weird, and they ended up creating an area called the Zone near the Pacific.
Right, so 3 Mile Island actually had an actual accident.
No, there's something to do with 3 Mile Island. It's set in an area. It's set in the Pacific area of America, I think. Anyway. Bye. But you basically, zone gets closed off. No one's allowed in. And you're like, you start the game just on like a little drive, just driving around. And you accidentally get too close to the screen. You get an anomaly attacks you and sucks you in. And you find yourself stranded in the zone.
Why are you driving around just casually fucking around on a border of a place you shouldn't be?
You're doing a delivery.
Dude, Just Eat drivers ain't that dumb.
I don't know.
You know what this is starting to sound like? You know what this is starting to sound like?
What?
This is starting to sound like fucking the start of Demolition Man.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, man, fucking like everyone else pissed off. But the bus drivers, man, just didn't listen.
Well, you basically, you get into the zone and you run around and you're trying to sort of escape, and you eventually find another car that you sort of like get going, drive off, and you have to escape from what they call the instability, which is like this area that sort of closes in on you as you're going round. Eventually get to like a safe space. And this car you found is not an ordinary car.
Fucking better hell.
It's this car you found. It's not a normal thing. It's called a remnant. And basically, remnants are these weird objects that they turn up in the zone that when people get hold of them, they get like obsessional over them. Like they get like sort of like they really want to spend time, and eventually it drives them mad. And you found this remnant, which means you're basically going to get eventually driven mad by it, but you're going to get obsessional over it as well. And what basically is, the car becomes your mobile base as you go into the zone. So you need to explore the zone to find resources, to like prepare the car up, do upgrades, unlock things, and there's story missions as well to go along with it. Your basic sort of concentrating is this car. You'll drive it into the zone. So you'll drive into the zone. It comes with you, and you can modify it. So you can put different wheels on it. You can change the engine, upgrade the build. You could put like storage units in it and stuff. So you actually sort of rummage around the zone and find stuff. And the car also protects you. To the extent that basically if you die, the car takes you back because it's a remnant, it wants to protect you.
What's this fucking Knight Rider?
It is, but the car isn't like overtly sentient. You can't talk to her or anything like that. It's just there. But it's like old what the Americans would call a sedan, what we would call an estate car. It's like this sort of old classic estate car type thing, like an old Volvo type thing, but American. And you basically sort of like, and this car becomes like your little safe space in the zone because it protects you. It protects you against like from like environmental hazards and stuff. And you need to get out of
like
this
car.
or like radiation. It's like it protects you from mild radiation stuff. Protects you like from some of the things that might do harm to you. It protects you, so it becomes on my basis. It's a very. There's something about very cozy about driving around in a car, like in a sort of like an abandoned place. It becomes like your little safe area, and it feels like a little like mobile little home. Something very cozy. Something very cozy about it. I think anyway.
Can I just quickly ask you 2 questions?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. One, was this one of your humble pickups?
It was, but it's brilliant.
Right. Okay. Well, scrub that. Right. Secondly, do you need a monstrous PC to actually play this thing?
Somewhat, yes. This game when it came out last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
okay.
it's a beautiful looking game. It's a beautiful looking game, and it's fairly well. It's nice design. So a typical sort of like run is you basically base out this workshop that used to be owned by a scientist. She'll talk to you and stuff, and sort of like it's part of sort of there's like these other characters you hear over the radio who talk to you and stuff to sort of like guide you along. And this garage is where you do all your modifications, so forth. And this is what they call a stable area. You'll then basically go. You'll basically equip your car up, and then you'll go to there's like a big map on the wall, and you'll pick a destination. And basically there'll be like little links, like on a map, like little like waypoints on the map, and you can pick a destination, and you set that as your total target. And because basically it's not like the zone itself is like a series of like small instance procedure generated type areas rather than like one big open world situation.
Yep.
And it'll, like each area will take you some time to travel to it. So you'll travel to an area, and areas will be different. So some areas will have like fully stable, because basically the idea is this instability like rearranges things. So every time you go to an area, it will change from the last time you were there, because the instability basically rearranges things. And when you get to an area, so you'll then have to like sort of like deal with any environmental hazards you come across. You want to like sort of scavenge for equipment, materials and stuff to build upgrades to your vehicle. There'll be hostile creatures. There'll be these things like these things called abductors, who are like these like floating lumps of random scrap metal things with like this thing, and they'll come if they come near you. They literally, if they come too close, they'll pick your car up and they'll just drag it, and they won't be gentle, but they'll just drag it halfway across the map and throw it at somewhere.
Pick up your car and throw it.
Yeah, and they'll do it whether you're in it or not, and they'll do the same to you. If you get too close, they'll just pick you up and just throw you somewhere.
Parked it.
But they'll also do it to like other anomalies. There's these things called bunnies, which are these like, you know what the you know, like, is it tumbleweed? Like in, imagine those, but if they're made out of scrap metal. They'll jump onto, and they're semi-sentient, so they can jump onto your car and they'll like sort of like try and drain energy or attack it.
What are those things called? What are those things called in Control that do basically the same thing? Like the weird fucking.
Oh, I know what you mean. But yeah, basically yes. There are like normally that like in sort of static areas. So there'll be ones that are like floating rocks. If you go through them, stuff. There'll be like sort of like storms. If you go into them, they'll like sort of damage your car electrics. There'll be there's all sorts of cool, huge range of them. So you'll explore like each of these what they call junctions. So each like waypoint is called a junction, and you can explore, and they'll all have like little modifiers before you go to them, which will tell you how sort of safe they are. So there's one called car, which means that basically you're safe pretty much. You take your time. There's no rush. There'll be hazards to the environment, but if you're careful, you can avoid them. Some will have like modifiers, like some of the anomalies will do more damage. Like there'll be like one called airstrip, which is like this sort of like glowing anomaly that if you go into it, it'll like throw your car up in the air. In some areas that'll be like super powered, so if you go to it'll throw you like dangerously high. But this big sort of thing is there'll be like one cool thing that happens is there'll be like little like areas of like weather. So you have like in your car, once you like sort of get stuff ready, you basically have your, because the car is very interactive. You have to like, before you drive off, you have to like turn the ignition on the key. You have to put it into park or drive, and you have to do that. You can't, and if you leave it in drive and get out, it'll just roll away some way. So you have to put it into park. You know, you've got your dual dashboard stuff. You've got your like air lights will show you like your down damage. You have like a stalk for your wipers, a stalk for your lights. And it's all like you have to. You can't put hotkeys, but you can also like when you're driving, it literally sort of look around, like in Flight Simulator. You can just click on the things as you walk around.
Yeah, look around and
Which I tend to do because it feels more immersive. But sort of like in your passenger seat, you've got this like thing called the Arc device. But it's maybe it's got a map, and the map shows you the area you're in. It will show you like it will like sort of like detect sort of like any sort of like dangerous things that are coming. But one thing it shows you is like there's like weather. So occasionally in a zone, you'll get this like big circle to put on your map that sort of walks across the map, and it's basically like a storm. And it could be a storm that like just like full of electricity that drains your energy. Apparently, there are storms that have like full of acid, and if you call the storm, you get basically surrounded in acid, which sort of like starts to eat away at your vehicle and stuff. So you want to try and avoid it. So you want to try and avoid the storm. Obviously, you've got roads and stuff, which obviously you try and keep on, but you can like get off-road tyres. I've upgraded to off-road tyres now because I want to be able to go off-road a bit more. The other thing is, you see, the thing about the game is the only way to get back to the garage is by opening like this portal. So on each map, there'll be like these. You'll see like there's a glowing. They'll show on the map of these like sort of like circles with like sort of a glowing center. If you go to them, you'll find like these all what they call like stability orb type things. That's not quite the term they use. Basically, if you pick one of those up, as soon as you pick one of those up, anything in the area that is in the area like will suddenly sort of like rapidly create a load of noise will appear. You'll start getting irradiated. You'll run, chuck it into your arc device, and it'll absorb it, and they'll basically charge it up. And each junction, so if some junctions you can't get out of, you have to just drive into the next one. Some, however, will require a certain amount of arc energy to basically open a portal.
Right.
And then that's where your big threat comes in. So in some zones, after a while, after you've been there a while, you'll get a warning that there's a storm incoming. This is the instability. So basically, on the map, there'll be like a center point randomly picked on the map. Not in the centre, but like a point. But this point becomes the centre of the storm. A bit like in PUBG, when it starts to close in.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same principles. Basically, you'll be there, and all of a sudden, you'll get a storm, and you'll just see this, like, circle start to close in on you. And that's a storm. Now, if you get caught in that, it's, like, ultra-high radiation, rapidly damaging. It's not so much damage. It's not a good place to be. So this basically creates a bit of time factor. So if you need to get out of the junction, you need to, like, judge how long you're going to stay there because you're basically fighting the storm. And it's okay if like, the storm is like outside the zone, your way you need to leave is outside the zone of storm, it's fine, but you may need to like go through it a little bit, so you need to plan ahead. You may actually, like the storm might come, you might actually just beeline to the next exit to get to the next junction because you can't wait around. But when you activate your arc device, even the storm isn't there, it instantly causes a storm to happen, and it comes in really quickly. So as soon as you activate the arc device, you have to rush towards the waypoint. To make matters a bit more complicated, although you can see where the portals are, points you can open them up, you can't be too close, because if you're too close, you'll like suffer damage. So you have to be like far enough away, so it won't let you open them if you're too close. So you have to be a certain distance away, then you have to open them, then you have to just full pelt, get there as quick as you can, because this storm will close in really quickly and you're really against the time. And then you get to the portal, that'll take you back to the garage, and then you can like export your spoils, you can upgrade your vehicle. So start off, your vehicle's going to have like really cruddy, scrappy doors made of just like that things. Eventually you'll be able to make steel plates and have proper steel doors, which look a bit nicer. You can then like, there's a whole like the sort of like upgrade tree. How it works is it's not just based on materials, it's also based on arc engine. So any arc engine you collect, you spend to upgrade, and there's not a lot, so you do have quite a lot. It's quite a slow grind to get through this, but once you spend arc energy, you'll basically you can like unlock doors that like more protective against radiation, or more protective against chemicals, or more protective against, or just generally stronger. You can pick like all the different doors. And basically you upgrade, so the whole sort of point of the game is you basically sort of upgrade your car to make it more powerful, more better potentially you can start fitting equipment to it that like attacks anything that finds you. You have like special abilities in your car, which you can like, you can have up to 4 abilities you can assign, and these all use, one sort of resource uses the battery. So you have a battery obviously in the car, and this battery is, every time you use a power, it obviously drains a bit. It's like almost a bit like a mana bar in a way, I suppose you could think about it. But things like switching your lights on drains your battery. Yeah. Switching your wipers on drains your battery.
I'm getting a kind of a, it's not quite the same, but I'm getting kind of a Death Stranding vibe. I mean, that's the groove I got when you said how, you know, you use X, Y, Z, and then the storm comes in, and I'm thinking, you know, the storm's like, oh my God, get the fuck out of there kind of thing. So you have to plan around it.
Having not played Death Stranding, I couldn't comment too much.
That's kind of a Death Stranding mechanic, in that you have to get away from the rain.
Oh, right, okay.
Because the rain will destroy all of your food. So you're basically in Death Stranding, you're a delivery boy, you're a delivery guy. Mm-hmm. And the rain is called time fall. And so anything it hits accelerates things through time.
So things break down because they get aged.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously you don't want to get, your guy doesn't want to get wet. The containers will disintegrate. Your car will get damaged. You have to have battery packs to have like exoskeletons to help you walk or run faster, climb better. Or if you've got a car, your cars are all running on battery as well, so you have to make sure that they've got charge.
It does sound similar in a way. I mean, my first thought point was like battle royale games which close in on you. That was my first thought, because that was my first sort of corporate. Oh, okay, you're sort of like stranded. Because now, to the game's credit, it has a really expansive difficulty options. So you can stick with like the standard difficulty options, but it's like you can customize pretty much everything. You can basically switch off all environmental hazards and just have a nice drive. You can.
Sounds rad.
It's really customizable. You can do things like, for example, you can switch on that as soon as you get back to your garage, your all damage automatically repaired. If you don't do that, you have to like build repair kits, which I've found very difficult because you need like chemicals which are very hard to come across.
Sure.
You can have it so that your battery fully charged, or all your stuff is fully charged automatically. So another thing you've got is petrol. Your car runs on full, and you'll need to like fill up. So you might like go to a petrol station and top it up from like the petrol station in the zone, which will have obviously a limited full supply. Or you might find other cars and drain their tanks. It's lots of other little things that all put little bits of stresses on you, and so you are sort of like monitoring your resources the whole time. You can again pretty much switch all this off, but you have to monitor your resource time, and it's so atmospheric. It's I find it quite creepy. I mean, it's those sort of like really atmospheric games where it's like you're all by yourself. You get the feeling that you're all alone, and you're just sort of like feeling all your protections is this car, but at the same time it's quite vulnerable to getting damage, so you are also like cautious with it and stuff. I for each sort of like run, I find it's a relief when the run is complete.
Sure.
I personally find
I quite like that kind of stuff, because like, you know, when we all played Long Dark, like we never played it like multiplayer or anything, but I just used to love I'm gonna see what's over there.
Yeah.
And it was just quiet, and you're just listening out for all these things and trying not to freeze to death. And
long not say atmospheric.
a lot of people would find that stressful. I really enjoyed that kind of thing. A nice pair of headphones on, just a dark room, and just immerse yourself into the game. I have actually had a look at the game's specs on Steam. It's not a super high-end machine.
No.
You could have run it on your old rig.
Probably, yeah.
That would have been like minimum settings. You'd have been just over minimum. It requires, or it recommends, a 10 series i5 from Intel. So, you know, good 4 generations old at this point, 4 or 5 generations old, I think. I can't remember what the current series of chips is from Intel. And it requires recommends, I should say, a 3070 or 3060 from NVIDIA. So if you're to kind of put that into modern stuff, I mean, the process is basically dirt at this point, or not dirt, but not great either. It's not high end. The graphics card would equate to roughly a 5060 ish, like it's not particularly high end at all. I've looked at some of the pictures. It actually looks very nice.
It is very nice.
I could still run it on my PC on the recommended settings.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that my machines are good, you know, between 3 and 5 years old, depending on when you know what parts you're looking at that's in it. It does look quite nice. I've also noticed it's published at least by Kepler Interactive. Now the first thing I knew that Kepler ever did was Cat's Quest, which I've spoken about on the podcast, and they've done 3 of those. But one thing that people would probably know them for now, they're also the same publisher of Expedition 33.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
That new turn-based RPG from the guys who fucked off from Ubisoft.
Which everybody's going absolutely ballistic, because apparently it's meant to be very good.
I've got it. I just haven't had a chance to play it.
I've heard it's very, very good.
Yes.
Yeah. But this, it's a game that's like, part of me kind of wishes there was a multiplayer version, but the part of me is quite glad there isn't, because I think you might lose some of the atmosphere.
Sure. I think that'd be great in VR. Looking at it.
It would be. I it just drains a little bit of stories. Like I need some arc energy to get out of a zone, and I was driving around the zone, and I just was trying to struggle to find it, and I was like, I've got to go off road, but the storm was coming in, and it's like. Because you can't place waypoints, and if you place a waypoint, you can place one at a time, but that does show up on your normal in-game HUD, where it's not like it's just in the car HUD, for example. And I was like, okay, I need arc energy. There's one bit here. Hopefully, it's enough. And the storm was pulling. It's like I need this because if I don't get this, I can't get out, and this is my last. I can't go anywhere. So it's like, I was like, I can't. I'm gonna have to abandon the car. Because it's like up a hill and it's like really far away, so it's like I could try and get out there, but I ain't got the wheels for it. So I like jump out the car because the car's part of the interaction is like to get out, you have to open the door and then you have to say get out, so you can open the door and just drive off and they see the door open, and you can leave doors open as well. And the car will tell you, you get a little warning sign the door's open because that obviously reduces your protection if the doors are all open.
Yeah, sure.
But jump out the car, run over to where the arc things, find it, grab it, and start legging it back. To the car while the whole and you can see the storm, you can see it sort of closing in, and I'm laying it back to the car, and I don't know what I did, but I must have like changed up or something. I didn't notice, but I dropped it on the ground, and I came back to the car. I was like, "Where's my art ball?" I was like, "Shit, I've dropped it." But the trouble is, once it only shows you the map when it's like in its little holder. Once it's off, it doesn't show you anymore. So I was like, "I have no idea where this is." So I sort of rushed off and was looking for it, trying to find this bloody thing, and the storm's getting closer and closer. I could just see like this sort of like green, a bit like northern lights, it looks like, sort of closing in. And running back to like the way I came, because also I just legged it back to the car, because it shows you the car, when you walk away from the car, it just puts a little mark which shows you the direction the car is in. So I sort of later, so I was like sort of like trying to do the inverse of the mark. Like, well, it was pointing that direction, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. It was pointing, I hope. Eventually spot the ball, run and grab it, leg back to the car. By this point, the storm has started to close in over the car. So it's like the car's it. So I run in, throw it in. I'm in like high radiation, jump in, start to drive off. Like, okay, I need to like work out. So I look on the map and there's like a waypoint that the storm is about to sort of like reach. So I quickly open it up, and at that point, the storm starts to really speed up. So I just floor it. I get there by the skin of my teeth. I get in there and get back, and it's like that was quite exhausting.
Yeah.
But the car will, if you don't die, if you die, you just turn back up at the garage.
Right.
And again, depending on how you choose your difficulty settings, you either turn up with nothing. You either lose everything you had on that you picked up on the run, or you have some things, or you have everything. You can choose.
Do you select all of this stuff at the start of the run then?
You can so basically start of the game, there is like several default options you can pick. Oh, not at the start of the run, but at the start of the game, you can pick several default options of like difficulty levels, and you just custom one. But at any point, you can change it. So if like you're finding a certain aspect of it a bit tough, perhaps, or a bit frustrating, you can either switch it off or change like so it's not quite so intense. So you can like change how all the damage affects your car. There's like damage levels for each, so you can increase and decrease them. So if you feel like, well, this isn't particularly harmful, I'll pop it up a little bit to sort of like just the difficulty. Literally, the difficulty page is huge. There is so many options on there you can pick. It's you can fully customize your experience. And then also what you can do with the cars, where you can also like get like paint. You can paint it as well. You can get like you can customize. You can actually you'll find like decorations as you go round. So you like kind of customize the wheel. So I've changed my wheel into like a flight yoke. You know, it's sort of two. The sort of like W-shaped flight. I've got that. I've got like a UFO gear change. I've got a little dog wearing a space helmet bobble hiding on my dash, and you can actually like mouse over and click him when he bobbles. I've got you can change all your sort of like cosmetics and stuff and sort of make it very much your vehicle. It is, if you like that, it's a slow grindy game. I have to say, I will say each you're not going to get far in each run. It's going to take your time. I'm assuming as you like get better upgrades, it's going to be like the sort of exponential growth type thing.
Roguelike style.
Yeah, but there's so much you can upgrade and stuff. Your garages have some fantastic quality of life features. Right, this has got to be one of the best things I've ever come across. A quality of life feature. You go to the crafting bench, and also you'll pick up stuff to craft. It doesn't matter where in the workshop that is stored, it is available at the crafting bench.
As generally speaking, it should be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just busy work.
Exactly. So it's like, as long as you've got it in there, if it's in your car, if it's in your rucksack, if it's in, you get given like a little container, if it's in a shelf, it doesn't matter where it is, it's available. And it uses it up.
I mean, because having to go around and actually actively manage individual bags is very PS2 era.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Strange that you say that, though. So each storage unit uses grid-based inventory. But when you open up, the store's shape will be roughly the shape of the object you're dealing with, but also it'll be like sort of subdivided. So if you imagine you've got like 2 large boxes and then a smaller box on top. You open the grid up, it'll show you the overall shape, but then it'll be like subdivided into like the 2 large boxes and a small box. Now you can store things over like the sort of like subdivision, but you run a risk of it falling out. So you have to store it within the right, and like your rucksack. So when a rucksack, it represents a rucksack with like the main bit, the 2 sort of side pockets, the sort of top part, and like the back pocket. So when you store stuff in it, you've got to like sort of plop it in the right section so it doesn't fall out.
Yeah, because otherwise you could end up trying to stuff something that's too big into one of the side pockets. In theory, then you'd go, oh, I can't do that up properly, and then it pucks off out the side of the bag.
That's the game replicates it. Yeah, very neat idea. And so it becomes yes, at the garage it doesn't really matter too much, but when you're out and about, you have to do some degree of inventory management. But again, that just adds to the sort of the tension and your planning and stuff. And it's such a satisfying game, and you can also. I think the few things that I find a little bit annoying with it is it uses a day-night cycle, and it's based on like when you go to the area. So if an area takes you 3 hours to get there, it's also whatever time is plus 3 hours. The trouble is there's no ability to sort of wait. So if it's like midnight, and you may want to say, okay, I'm going to go to junction, but really, I want to go there during the day. Because if you go during the day, you don't need to use your lights and so forth. Or at least, like, if I've got a long run, I want to sort of like go to the first place in the daylight and sort of gradually work my way along. So yes, by the end I'm in night time, but I've like got a good chunk of the day. I want to sort of like manage my time, like you would if you were doing it in real life. You'd like try and plan the best time to go.
Yes, but then you're not also. I mean, at the end of the day, that's fair to compare it to real life in that regard, except you're not trying to avoid a fucking "I'm going to kill you" anomaly.
Yeah, but then you're
like if I said to you,
I think be able to plan your. That just seems like a sort, because at the moment you can do that, but you just have to literally wait. You just have to sit around and wait.
Of course, I understand what you're saying. I just think I don't really think it's that big of a deal because they're trying to encourage you to get out there at night too.
Yeah, I'm sure they are, but
because you want to get the fuck away from the thing. Like if you said to me, "There's a serial killer on the loose," do I want to sit here and wait until it's daytime to drive? No, I'm fucking out, mate. But I don't care if the game has designated it as a safe area. Just for the lore of the world, I don't imagine that a garage has an automatic bubble.
In the lore of the world, it is a safe area. There are stable areas in the zone, and you reside in one. That's why it's your base, because it's a stable area. That is part of the storyline. There's like other stable areas around as well, but that's the one. That's why they picked it.
Then there should be a wait point, but then otherwise it just seems silly to me because it seems like they're trying to encourage you to get out there all times. Like, so you actually have to experience the world at night.
You would do still anyway, because you have to go like junctions to connect to other junctions. You have to like do them like a series of chains to get to the far junctions. There's travel time between each one. So like it may take you like 3 hours, 6 hours, 3 hours, and so forth. So you couldn't avoid it entirely, but you could be smart about it and like, okay, I'm going to try and hit this one there. I want to try and hit that one. Oh, that one's got like a lot of visibility. I want to try and hit that one. Like perhaps there's some. I'm going to assume there's probably some modifiers that affect like day or night times. Perhaps I can't try and hit that during the day. Then I need to plan my route so I leave at the right times, and I want to spend this much time in that zone and move on. So I hit it at the right time. That I think's a smart thing to do, and I think that'd be a good point. So I would like a bed. I want a bed that you can just wait for a few hours if you need to. I think that'd be a good thing. Apparently there was rumours that was going to be something there, but they like just didn't finish it off. There are rumours, but obviously they're rumours. So who knows the truth?
Potentially a potential of a patch in the future, maybe.
Maybe.
Or an update. I mean, the game ain't that old. Was it like late last year?
Yeah, it's a fairly new game. But yeah, above that, I don't think I've only got real major annoyances. It's one of those games I've sort of like enjoyed every expedition, but like I've sort of like it's that going on one is a moment of dread before you start, and the whole time you're doing it, but then when you finish, it's like, that was good. I'm going to do it again.
Yeah,
it's the roller coaster effect.
Sure.
But some of the modifications, I've been reading like what other modifications you can get. They're like somewhere like the car. If you're not in the car, it'll just drive off by itself in certain zones. The modification means the car will just like become sort of semi-sentient, be like Herbie and just drive off. So you don't want to be in the car. You want to like spend as little time out of the car as you can because it might come after you. Apparently, it'll even try and run you over.
All right.
They're like ones where like some of the monsters you encounter, the sort of anomalies will be more aggressive. They'll chase you down more. There's loads of little modifiers then, and apparently some of them are quite horrific to work through. And there was like there's one area which I went into, which I basically like got there. Like I need to get to like, because one of the other things is when you go to an area, when you've left it, you basically by just being there, you cause instability. So it'll appear on the map next time. There'll be like a massive storm around it where you've been because you basically disrupted it. So if you can't go back there immediately, so it makes you have to go to different areas. You have to sort of like pick different areas to go to and stuff, and also to explore. The only way to like explore further is to go to a further junction, and then when you go to that junction, it unlocks like the next ones around it for the future expedition. So you have to sort of like gradually sort of go a bit further every single time. It's got a lot of neat features to it. Stuff. It's
sounding to a point a little Death Stranding-y.
Having never played Death Stranding, I can't comment, but I've very much enjoyed it. But yeah, perhaps it's Death Stranding with a car. I don't know. I've a car that you can fully customize. It's change your wheels. You can change all your wheel types. You can change the engine. You can like sort of like paint all different colors. You can like fit those, and gradually over time you can fit like lightning rods. So if you get struck by lightning, it charges the battery. Lots of little things to upgrade. Lots of little like stresses to sort of constantly think about while you're playing. It's really great fun. But I said it's just quite a slow. I mean, I'm 8 hours in. I've only now like changed all my doors to steel doors, which is like the next level up from the basic doors.
Yeah. But the thing is though, are you doing the Suffolk Ram thing where you are scouring literally every inch?
That's kind of required though, because you need so many resources to just upgrade things. You kind of need to scour every inch because you need the resources, and you get so through. Like a steel panel is like 6 bits of metal, and if you destroy like a car panel, it gives you like 2 or 3. So you need to destroy a lot of car
my
panel.
point is, do you really need it, or do you Suffolk Ram need it?
I personally think you really quite need it. You could probably get through with less, and I'm sure but you do, if you want to like get sort of better, you do need to just spend the time exploring. Because another example is repair patty. You need 2 chemicals. They're very hard to come from. Now you generally find those at science stations, and they're quite rare. So you do have to, if you want to be able to repair your vehicle, you kind of have to dig everywhere to look for them. Bear in mind though, the game only like in zones of stability is it safe. If you go to a zone that hasn't got a stability mark on it, it means that at some point the storm's going to come and you have to leave, or like sort of push it. I mean, it won't come very quickly, so you have to like immediately leave, but you have to like, it's going to get a bit tight, a bit quick. I better start planning some protection here because it's going to get very nasty very quickly. But yeah, it's very good. I've said I'm quite pleased so far. I've quite a few little games I've been quite obsessed with. So
we have noticed.
Yeah,
we have noticed. I'm wondering how many podcasts are we going to go through where Ram is playing Pacific Drive.
I definitely want to keep playing it. It's one of those games that I tend to have to play sort of late in the evening when it's starting to get dark. It feels wrong playing during the day. So it's almost like a sort of horror game, I suppose. It's all very sort of eldritch horror game. But obviously, Skazz is setting me up for another Nictopia game, because Skazz very kindly gifted me a copy of Sid Meier's Beyond Earth. It's like, there's going to be another Nictopia coming. I can feel it.
Well, see, I thought you guys had that because you spoke with Bard about older Civ games years ago, and I was
Yes.
under the impression that both you and Bad had
No, I
Gal
don't.
Civ.
It's not
And so
Galciv, it's
when I
Beyond
looked,
Earth.
oh, there you go. But I had a look at your well, no, because I thought you had all of the Civ games. I thought you had them all.
No.
And I looked on your wish list. I was like, I'm sure Ram and Bard has spoken about this one before.
Are you thinking of Alpha Centauri? The
I
Civ
don't,
game?
mate. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I assumed you guys had them, so I thought, oh fuck it, I'll just
Yeah.
I'll give Ram something to do. That's more people can be gulagged by Ram.
Yeah.
In record time.
Yeah. No. So, Skazz, have you been up to anything at all?
I have. I've had a bit of a. I've been. I wouldn't say burnout, but you know when you think to yourself, I can't be asked to do this for a little while.
Yeah.
I've had that go on, and I was like, right, I could be live streaming, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. I can't be bothered. And I've got a bit of a beef with modern games. I'm kind of bored of modern games. They feel really simple. They feel really numb. They feel really kind of shit. And I'm sat here. I've got my PC, and I'm like, I know. Let's play a game that doesn't require anything near what I've got. So, once upon a
Minesweeper?
time, near enough. Very similar game. Very similar game. Okay, things do blow up, especially if you click the wrong place. All right. All the way back in 2006, the game to have if you're a console owner, on the Microsoft side at least, Gears of War. If you haven't played Gears of War is a co-op third-person cover shooter. Traditionally co-op. I've only ever played it co-op. The idea being that there's two characters, you're one guy, your mate's the other guy, you both go through. If someone gets downed, you go over, pick them up, that kind of thing. You take on an army, win the game. Story, good job, right? And that became the game type other companies wanted to make. And there were two more in memory, other than Gears, because Gears was, sarcastic air quotes, so good. That was like one of the Microsoft series. They had like 5 games.
I thought I can guess one of the other ones that you're going to refer to.
Go on, go for it.
Army of Two?
So Army of Two, right, so Gears of War came out in 2006-ish. Army of Two is a trilogy by EA that came out starting 2008. There was one more that I remember. But it's not remembered fondly. And I don't remember anyone ever talking about the co-op part of it. Eidos released Kane and Lynch, Dead Men,
Yes, I remember.
in 2007.
Oh, I remember that. They're really heavy pushing that game. I remember that.
Well, that was going to be their big series, wasn't it? So it comes up from the makers of Hitman, Kane and Lynch, and you're like, oh wow, the makers of Hitman, and it got shat on something chronic. I do not remember a single outlet giving that thing a positive review. This is, again, remember, this is the early days of YouTube as well. Everybody that I know of shat on that game. So hard that you could pick that game up quite cheap, quite easily. Okay? And I did way back in the day. Obviously, this is before Army of Two, and I love Army of Two. I'd already played through Gears of War with my mate Abraxas. Gears of War, Gears of War 1, I quite enjoyed it. It was quite fun. Okay? Me, my mate Abraxas, rocking through the game, murdering people. If I go down, he comes and picks me up. He go down, I go pick him up, we go through. We kicked that game's ass, and we played it on the hardest difficulty, and it was hilarious. Right? Absolutely hilarious. Playing that game single player, though, I imagine would be absolutely dog shit. Because you'd have to control the other AI character by going, go over there, go do it. That's how those games work. You either have 2 people playing them, or one person has to control both characters. And you can't, I don't remember if in Gears you could switch between characters, but generally you play as a main character, and you point the other guy to go and do a thing, and you have to trust the AI actually it does what you want it to do.
Yeah.
Okay? So, Kane and Lynch comes out, and from what I remember, most people played single player. most people I know played single player. I think most reviewers that I know of as well also played single player, which is not the way these kind of games were supposed to be played. I played it back in the day. Before Army of Two came out, I absolutely adore Army of Two. I've got Army of Two on my walls. I sit next to an Army of Two mask. I like these games. Gears sucks nugs. Army of Two is amazing. Gears sucked because of Gears of War 2 onwards, but that doesn't matter. So Kane and Lynch. Everyone hated it. You could get it quite cheap. And the other day, I thought, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna give it a go. I got to a point where I got sniped out in the story. And I just remember going, I can't do this. I'm putting the game down. I can't do it. For some reason, I can't figure out how to do this. I'm putting it down. And my kids were only little dots at the time. This was actually around about the time my kids were born. So put the game down. Enough. Game kind of sucks. Years later, pick it up again. And my youngest son, he goes, yeah, Dad, ain't that co-op? I was like, is it? Really? He's like, yeah, it's supposed to be co-op, ain't it? I was like, oh shit, I've only played it single player. Load up the game. Campaign, single player, or co-op. And I was like, no. Oh no, it's not one of those, is it? It's not a co-op cover shooter like Army of Two and Gears. Supposed to be. It was supposed to be. And so once I realized this, I went through it with a new kind of, I'd kind of cleared off the old lenses. I'm playing it single player still. You play as Kane, and believe it or not, Lynch. You're on your way to be death road, like executed. You're a criminal, prison. You're off to be fucked up, dead. And the story takes place that Kane is trying to send a letter to his daughter to apologize for basically not being there. He admits that he's a terrible man. He's done terrible things. He's sorry. He wishes he could have been there for his daughter and his wife. Everything that you see on the news about me is going to be true, but I wish I could have been a better dad, kind of thing. As you guys go on towards, the electric chair, you're in the back of a fucking police bus, like in Grand Theft Auto or whatever, where they bust you out, kind of thing. All of a sudden, Lynch is sat next to you. He goes, "Yeah, fucking head down, mate." And you're like, "What?" "Yeah, get your fucking head down." All of a sudden, these dudes fucking bust you out of the back of this truck. Like there's a swarm of dudes just come out and they're tearing the shit out of this convoy. And it turns out the convoy belongs to the guys who tried to bust you out, as well as Lynch, are members of a group called, I think they're called the Seven. Imagine like a big mafia family. Like that, if you've got the heads of the main mafia families kind of thing. These are all like organized crime guys. And apparently once upon a time, Kane was one of those dudes. However, something happens at some point in the story and Kane is called a traitor. He's fucked them over. Like a job has gone wrong. Some people got caught. Some people got fucked up. And the key thing they wanted, Kane has it or had it. And they don't know where it is. They just say Kane stole it. He's a traitor. To him, right? Lynch works for them, and the idea is Lynch is supposed to keep an eye on Kane until Kane finds the thing they want to take back to the Seven, and then everything will be hunky-dory, I suppose. Never. It's never going to work out that way. Ever. You know it. These are organized crime guys. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about Lynch. They don't give a shit about anyone. They want their thing. That's it. So, going through the game, it is a third-person cover-based game. You take control of Kane, and you have to give orders to Lynch and any other character that you have in your squad. So there could be like another AI NPC that you need for the story. Lynch will go off and do something. Kane and then this other guy will come along. Do you know anything about like Gears of War and Army of Two, like the cover-based kind of mechanics and those kind of games?
I have played Gears of War, but only single player. Right. I think I may have played Army of Two co-op once.
Sure.
But I can't remember all the details. But I know it's third person, push a button to hide behind cover, pop out, shoot things. Push a button
You
to
get
leave
given
cover.
like go through you basically get put in like little arenas. Imagine like Doom.
Yeah.
Go through corridor, go into arena, clear the arena, go through corridor, next bit, story continues that kind of way, right? Same kind of thing in Kane and Lynch. You rock into a zone, story event happens, and then guys swarm in or whatever, and you have to keep yourself safe and command Lynch and all the other NPCs to take out the guys, the dudes guarding you or whatever, or guarding you, like to try and who are trying to take you out to try and stop you from reaching your objective. You have to command them to take them out without dying, because if you die, you can go down twice. The UI is shit. I'm going to flat out say it. The UI is shit. Gunplay is kind of wobbly. Commanding the AI is kind of wobbly. You know, you can tell Lynch to guard. You can tell him to follow. You can tell him to fuck off over there. Right? It's not great. You can actively tell one of the guys, "Hey, fucking help me!" And he'll be like, "Oh, I'm trying," and he'll just stand there. "Hey, go like, get cover behind there," as he takes the long way around and gets shot up by all the guys. Right?
How sort of granular is the control? Do you just like sort of just give general orders? Can you like sort of like
no, mate, you just point him. Just point him.
Oh right, so you can't like not like Mass Effect where you can literally say, "I want you to go here, exactly here."
No, you look in the direction and you press like one of the face buttons, and it'll be either follow me, go over there, and shoot, or like target those guys, or go over there and defend. Like that's it. Like, and you can't just like select it, click it, because it's a third-person cover shooter, where it's designed primarily for control pad anyway, and it's not particularly solid AI. Because I think in Mass Effect you could literally kind of like you'd have to select, and then you could say exactly where to go. Like
it was almost like a grid-based system in a way. You could literally pick an exact location, and you could pause it as well while you're doing it.
Yeah, no joys like that in Kane and Lynch. Firefights are happening all the time. You point the motherfucker, like you're looking in the general direction. You could be eyeballing some motherfucker, say, "Fight that guy," and he'll go, "Oh, I'll try." And he's firing somewhere next to it, because you can't. Sometimes it's really good, and other times it just kind of sticks to thin air. Other times you're like, "Hey, yo, bro, can you go kind of like defend that area?" And he'll just go, "Oh, God, okay, I'll do that." And it's like, for some reason he's gone the wrong way. As a case in point, there's one section where you're supposed to stealth. Kane and his team, they fuck, man. Let's put it this way: if corpses were persistent, I could have buried all of the enemy in my corpse. I could have just gone, "Yep, there you go, respawn, just fucking chuck another corpse on the pile." I'd sneak past them by building walls of corpses, because that was one of those, like, if you fuck up, they notice you've effectively failed kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not terribly bad, but as long as you get into a firefight, and if they launch a flare, you fucked it. Right? So I was like, okay, I sneak down here, you guys either wait here or come with me down here. Instead of following me over the edge, so I rappel over the edge of the cliff. Instead of them following me rappelling down, they decide to take the fucking path to the side. Okay? If I tell them to follow me, they still take the path down the side. If I point to the area down below, they still take the path down the side. And it's not a high likelihood they're going to get caught. All right, 2 out of 3, maybe, ish, depending on how slow you are to move. They will fucking aggro the enemy. They're just walking around. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Why did you go there? Like, you've walked right in front of the enemy camp. So you're like,
God.
Right, where's the AI? Where's the AI? He's gone that way. He's gone that way. Okay, right, go, fucking go, lads.
It's like if Solid Snake was given a toddler sidekick. It's just
No, that is it. That is how the AI works in this game. Okay, just a catch of how cheap this game is. We're escaping the police. They drive a van or a car, I can't remember, down into like a subway. Not the restaurant, into like the underground train platform, yeah? They drive down the fucking stairs, and we crash it, and we've got to get out. Okay. Level starts, checkpoint starts, is you're out of the car, Lynch is now getting out of the van, or whatever, and the police are now going to come bundling down the stairs. Then the van blows up, right? I must have been the most unlucky motherfucker on the planet because I'm out of the van. Lynch is getting out of the van. Some police start funneling down the stairs. If you do not take those police officers out, right, what happens? What do you think happens?
Oh, you don't take the police officers out. Does Lynch just like decide to go cuddle them or something and like get instantly mowed down?
Oh, it's close. Okay. If you don't instantly take the police officers out that are coming down the stairs, Lynch doesn't just turn around and fight them. However, for some random reason, as they start going trying to get Lynch, they don't kill him, but he slows down. The van blows up and it takes him out. So you then have to go and pick his bitch ass up, and he will bleed out over the floor if you don't. So then you fail the mission because you have to have Lynch with you. Right? You have to go and pick him up. So you can take out the cops to pick him up. But at the top of the stairs, the game has been cheap enough to put snipers on the map that they introduced like a level or two before. So you walk to go pick him up, and that has to play an animation of you picking him up. The fucking sniper is locked on your dome, and you are done, son. You can sometimes do it quick enough, but if you don't, you're done, and it's a one shot. And if Lynch is down and you get downed, failed.
I mean, is the AI at least somewhat quite hardy so he doesn't die instantly, or like is he as weak as you?
He's done, son. If he's downed.
No, but to get him down, I mean, is he got like a lot more health than you, so he doesn't get down quite so? Oh god,
no. So the problem here is that every time you spawned in on this particular area, if he's getting shot at, so let's say you don't take the police officers out, he will move slower and always get blown up by the vehicle as it goes. Yeah. So then you have to get there to pick him up.
I mean, it's like in general,
do that, you get sniped. I mean, in general, mate, Lynch is a tank. You go, hey, Lynch, go over there. Fuck off, mate. For the first half of the game, generally speaking, he's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about keeping him safe. He will just like absorb the hits and not die instantly.
He can, like, if you just go stand over there, or Lynch follow me. Lynch will take out 3, 4, 5 guys. Towards the end of the game, I was like, shit, man. Like my gun's kind of manking. They've got a better gun than me. Hey, yo, Lynch, motherfucker, get in there, son. And he literally, and this was hilarious, dude, I almost cried laughing. Lynch just fucking runs up to this like fortress. Yeah? And there's these 3 dudes. He just fucking breaks one guy's neck, nuts another guy, and starts shotgunning someone else. I'm like, fucking hell, mate, I couldn't do that. If I came out of cover, I'd have been done in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But for once, like, fucking Lynch was like, yeah, these guys are done. Like, he was as like balls deep tough, like he was at the start of the game. But obviously, as you go further through the game, the enemies get better guns, and so like they'll go ba-dum, ba-dum, and you're gone. Like, you'll be on the floor in like 2 shots, and it's fucking brutal at times. Okay, so you have to get the AI to navigate through these things, to get to checkpoints, to get the story to progress, and all that kind of stuff. It's fucking cheap. It's cheesy. It's frustrating at times, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't believe it. It was a game I was with the fucking reviewers back in the day. I didn't like it. It wasn't terrible, but there were just some bits that were really cheap. And I realized I was probably doing it wrong. At least in single player, I was doing it wrong. Because I managed to clear the zone. I mean, first attempt, I got rid of all the snipers. As I said, I died when the kids were young. Did that, no problem. Second time round, though, I got fucked up by like a swarm of dudes that were coming down to kill me. Lynch wasn't helpful at all. You can't let any of your teammates bleed out if they're story important, even if they're just like random minions with no name that you don't understand. Just sometimes it gets really tough. Really tough. The game doesn't help you. But I kept on thinking, this is like Gears or Army of Two. Playing those games single player, it's a different level, right? I imagine this game would be infinitely better if played in multiplayer.
Yes.
Playing it single and having to manage this dumb fuck AI is not great. It works, but it makes some parts of the game really fucking annoying where it doesn't have to be.
You get the feeling it was designed as a co-op first, and they had to put AI in afterwards later on to sort of make it a single player.
Kind of. And you're thinking to yourself, well, if I was playing this with a mate, I mean, honestly, I was thinking to myself, I said it 100 times on stream. This game would have been great if I was playing it with my mates.
Yeah.
Like, flat out, this would have been amazing because I like Kane. I like Lynch. As characters, they're fucking cool. I think they're cool. A lot of people get really pissy because one of the complaints in the game for the reviews, and I remember this clear as day, they swear too much. They do. You know? Kind of like my complaint with Max Payne 3. Max, from memory, but the first time I played it through, I remember Max swearing a lot. Second time, third time, fourth time through, it's not actually that bad. Kane and Lynch, a lot of people complained about the language. At the start of the game, they swear at each other a lot. They don't know each other. They don't like each other. This is business. Lynch is there to keep an eye on Kane, and he thinks Kane's a cunt and is a traitor. They hate each other, right? As time goes on, though, they get a bit pally-pally. Not overly pally, but kind of pally. I like their dynamic. The swearing isn't that bad. In fact, actually, so this is what I'm getting at. You know how in Max Payne, Max is really kind of down on himself, kind of broody, you know, his family's just been fucking killed.
Yeah, he's got a valid excuse.
Yeah. Kane is the same. When you get downed, you can hear all of Kane's thoughts. What's going through his head. And he fucking hates himself. You can hear the voice of his daughter calling to him, calling daddy, like, you know, let's go and do X, Y, Z when she was a little dot. Because his daughter's like in her late teens, early 20s at this point. And he's remembering the good days. He's remembering how everyone calls him a fuck up, how they're calling him a traitor. He's screaming at himself in his head. And every time you go down, I love it. It had such a Max Payne vibe to it. I absolutely loved it. It's really bad. Like, I enjoyed a character berating himself. I couldn't believe it. Like, you can hear, like, when him and Lynch get into a fight and you get downed, that's what's going through his head as he's mowing down all these people, that he is a fuck up, that he should have just been he should have just died and this should have all been over. He was at peace up until all of this started happening. He was like, well, shit, now what the fuck am I going to do? Like, I was ready to die. I was ready to be executed. What the fuck is this? And now everyone else is getting dragged into my shit. Like, this is absolutely fucking mental. But it's actually quite a good game. The AI's fucking thick as a post. It's dumb as a fucking post. The characters are quite cool. Story's quite nice, albeit very thin. It would have been so much better to play with mates. Obviously, I think the servers are down regardless of what you try and play it on. On PC, you need to patch out games for Windows Live. It's just a DLL file. Just download that, slap it on. Runs great on Linux. Oh god, there was something else. Oh yeah, inventory management. I never used it in the game, but the idea is as well that you can, if you run out of ammo in one of your little arena bits, you can either pick up a new gun from the guys you've mowed down, which could be better than what you got, or Kane will scream, "Fuck mate, I'm low, I'm empty," and all of a sudden, like Kane or Lynch or like one of the other guys will go, "Hey yo, I've got some ammo." So you can go to them to get more ammo. You can either bring them to you or you go to them to pick up more ammo for your gun, and it's near enough a full refill.
Yeah.
And you can do that like once per character in your squad, because sometimes there'll be like 4, 5, 6 characters in your squad. I think. No, wait, about 4 characters, and then they can even have sub characters with them. Like, you don't control the sub characters with the guys, but you can kind of direct where you want each individual person to go, and each person will have like a different gun as well. Kane will have whatever you give him. Lynch will usually always have a shotgun. One of their other mates has got like a sniper rifle or whatever, and another guy's got like a fucking Desert Eagle or whatever. You know, you pick the guy that's best for the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because obviously you don't want the guy with the sniper rifle to run into a herd full of fucking people. You want him to stand back and start picking people off, kind of thing. But you can get refills of ammo from the guys. You can also trade guns with other characters. So you can actually pick up a gun and go, "Oh, hey, yo, Lynch, can I have the shotgun?" And you go into the menu, and Lynch will hand you his shotgun. You can give Lynch a new gun. You can give Kane new guns based on that. Comes up with like a wheel, and you can just trade them between each other. And I thought that was really kind of cool. I think you could do that in Army of Two. I don't remember though. But it's a mechanic I never really used.
Yeah.
But it's there. And when you go down, when you die, I don't know how this applies to the NPCs. You have to use an adrenaline shot. They get down, just like, oh fuck, I'm dying. And you've got 20 seconds, 30 seconds to go pick them up, whatever. You jab them with the old shot. They get up. You can still get mowed down whilst you're trying to pick them up, though. You have no iframes or invincibility frames, so you have to make sure you're clear or generally clear, and that you can quickly get into cover. It's one of those regenerating health deals as well. So, once you stand back for a little while, you get your health back. You can pick them up I'm going to say as many times as you want. I think. You, on the other hand, you get 2 shots. You get downed once. Right? If they do it again, you OD. You overdose. So you start off, you can go down once, they'll pick you up again. If you go down again, Kane will die from an adrenaline overdose or whatever it is they're pumping into his system. Annoyingly, though, the interface doesn't note, or at least I didn't realize, when you cross a checkpoint, the game will reset the adrenaline count.
Okay.
So once you hit a checkpoint,
I was going to ask about that if it's like times out resets.
Yeah, but it doesn't. At least I haven't noticed. I didn't notice. There is no way of it kind of telling you as the player that your adrenaline count has fucked off. There might have been like you've passed a checkpoint bit kind of pop up somewhere on the screen, maybe, but I don't remember seeing, and I could just be blind, anywhere on the interface that says you've had an adrenaline shot, don't die again. Until like you hit a checkpoint and to have that marker go away. I don't remember there being anything like that. So there were many a time when I didn't actually realize how the overdose mechanic actually worked.
Yeah,
they
could have done something simple like a little vignette around the edge of the screen to sort of like give you the idea that it disappears.
They might have done. I just didn't notice it. If they did put something in there, I just didn't notice it.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things that really threw me off. I was like, oh fuck, I'm done now. Oh, I just got picked up. Why did I get picked up? Oh, what? And it took a while for me to realize, oh, I must have hit a checkpoint.
Yeah.
And that's why they're letting me get picked up again. But I just didn't. There were many a time when I was like, have I overdosed now? Have I cleared the area now? I was like, it was really kind of guesswork to realize whether or not I'd cleared the zone. But yeah, for a third-person cover shooter from 2007, one of the kind of earlier kind of co-op shooters, it was quite fun.
Yeah,
it was quite fun. If you like the kind of the broody, bitchy, shouty, screamy, I hate my life kind of Max Payne vibes for a character, it's pretty cool. It was pretty rad. I mean, they're not fucking, super tough, balls deep, built like brick shit houses, fucking tearing through, kind of like the guys in Gears of War. They're not really hardened veterans either, like well prepped, geared up guys like in Army of Two. These are just fucking like 2 geezers walking around in suits.
Mm.
You've just kind of got out your prison garb, and now they've given you a suit. Like fucking Lynch is heavy, dude. He's a a middle-aged guy. He's a bald and middle-aged dude. Same with Kane. Like these guys aren't like in their prime. So, I mean, I thought they were neat. I liked the characters. I liked their dynamic. I liked that they were bitching each other out. I liked there was fucking that Kane's tormenting himself all the time. Oh, and when you're playing a single player, you have to play as Kane.
Oh right, yeah.
You have to play as Kane. I like the story between the two characters. I'm not going to go too hardcore into the dynamic between the two characters. That's up to you to play. There was a sequel, Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days, I think it's called.
Yes, I think that sounds right.
That launches directly. That follows sometime after Kane and Lynch 1. I don't know how far the gap is between 1 and 2, but they never made another one after that. Like Kane and Lynch was fucking dead. 1 wasn't particularly well received. I don't think 2 did much better. I think maybe they released the second one in hopes that they could kind of capture some of that Gears of War glory. Gears were still going. They're thinking, oh, maybe if we polished it up a bit, maybe we could get people in. The first one, as I say, needs games for Windows Live. You can patch that out. It's just a DLL file. The second one just launches straight into the game, no big deal. You probably get it for fucking peanuts on PC. Runs on everything. You don't need to patch it up any other way other than that game's for Windows Live DLL. I wish I could have played it with my mates back in the day. It would have been infinitely better playing it with a mate. I recommend you play it if you can couch it with someone, like couch co-op it with someone. Oh my fucking god. There are some parts of that game that are cheesy, cheap, and dog shit. However, the cheesy, cheap dog shit would be acceptable gameplay if you were playing with a mate.
Yeah. Because it makes it fun.
Yeah. Just like Army of Two. I've played Army of Two solo, and I've played Army of Two with mates. Most of the time I've played Army of Two, I've played it with mates. I played the first one solo and the third one solo after I played them with mates. No, I played the third one by myself before I played it with mates, and the first one I played it with mates all the time, and then I played it solo years later because they shut down the servers. Army of Two is infinitely better with friends. Yeah. It's a lot better than Kane and Lynch solo, but it's still infinitely better with friends. Kane and Lynch, I just think would have been so much better. I think people would have liked it so much more had they have not treated it like a single player experience.
Yes.
If you had a mate with you and you were just fucking about, that game would have been great.
Or they spent more time on the AI and made him actually like somewhat competent.
Yeah, sure. I'm not saying that the AI is terrible. There's no two ways about it. Like I say, when I'm doing that stealth mission and they just follow me down the hill.
See, Far Cry's got it right for stealth with AI. If you've got AI companion Far Cry, they just ignore it. It just doesn't matter what your guy can just literally walk in front of no one just put back to 9. It's like they just blinkered to him.
That would have been nice, but then that would have proper cheesed that section. Because you can fight your way up, but that's what I ended up having to do. If the idea being that once you're spotted, a guy will run back to their kind of camp and fire off a signal flare, and once that happens, you've lost it. The trouble is the initial or one of the kind of main open area bits where you have to stealth it. The guys have got like mounted guns. Like the little enemy camp has got mounted guns. So once you get spotted, they just tear clean through you. So, I mean, your guys will be standing there and like in a previous mission, they could have been stood there like, fucking hardcore taking bullets. All of a sudden on this level though, they go down like cheap hookers.
Yeah.
Like they go down hard and they go down fast, and then you obviously have to then try and either. There's swarms of dudes and enemies spawn back in. By the way.
Oh, good.
Is it one
of those like checkpoint spawners where they see spawns, you get to a checkpoint? Very Medal of Honor.
Yeah, kind of. Well, at least in that one section, because I killed a bunch of guys, and then all of a sudden more guys came through. Like, so I wasn't moving fast enough. So in the end, I got kind of sick of it because I was like, I can't get past that mounted gun. So I fucking legged it in hopes that Kane, Lynch, and the other guys would, or like Lynch and the other guys would follow Kane. And get past without getting wiped out, so I didn't have to go pick them up. Thankfully, I managed to clear it, get to the checkpoint that I died, but then the next time I loaded in, I was on the other side of that bit.
Yeah.
But those guys were still there, and my dudes were still trying to engage the guys behind me. And they could still go down like cheap hookers. The dudes behind me would then start to rush me from behind me. Obviously, they'd be coming in to try and kill me there. They'd still come and get me. And if I didn't kill them fast enough, dudes would literally spawn in next to me because I was at the spawn point for the guys behind me.
Oh God.
Now I don't know how many times they're supposed to spawn in, but it was quite funny to go. There's no one there. There's a couple of guys there. Boom. So two dudes have just spawned in right next to me. Like, where the fuck did they come from? This was clear a minute ago. What the hell? And then, oh, you're dead. I was like, well, I can't pick him up because there's a mounted fucking gun there. And I've just been done by these two cunts. And then my guys go, fucking failed. Signal flare's gone up. Failed. You've lost a teammate. Failed. You've died. Failed. You've overdosed. And I saw that screen like fucking, it must have been 50 times. I was like, I can't do it. I can't control this AI well enough to get through this fucking. So in the end, I brute forced it. And I'm sure most other people, if I was an old school reviewer in 2007, I would have probably taken my control pad and fucking thrown it, and just called it done. You know, I've been like one of those people who says that Dark Souls is hard. Fool. But no, we persevered. We got through it. And I did quite enjoy it. As I say, it would have just been infinitely better had I been able to play it co-op.
Yeah.
If there is a way to still play that game online co-op, I must find it. Because if I can get some of my Army of Two guys together, some of my old Gears guys together, to be honest, I reckon that would be, if I would get them to change their minds, they would probably play it and go, oh, actually, yeah, fucking Kane and Lynch is like Army of Two. This is like, it's up there, you know? But playing it single player just don't. I mean, do it, play it to get the story, but understand that it will be infinitely better with friends. I'm kind of sad the story's over. I don't know if maybe they actually wrapped up the story in the second one, or if maybe they did an Army of Two and hoped for another one. But Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days is going to be the next one I play. And I want to see if it's as bad as people said it was, because the first one wasn't. It was cheap. You could tell it was of the time. 2007, like early Xbox 360 style stuff. Kind of gank, but it was still kind of fun. And oh yeah, and the game's very quick to kill you for fuck all reason. So, and the AI doesn't give a shit about you either.
Oh.
I'm driving my van, goes the NPC. Clear the area, the van starts moving. You are quite comfortably standing there. The dude doesn't brake, he just runs you over in the van. Game over. Or, quick, we gotta get on the train. I'm standing at the train. We killed all the police. I'm standing at the platform. You've missed the train. Or look, you still try to take out the police. The train fucks off. You've missed the train. Game over. Do it again. Kane gets killed by the van blowing up. Okay, do it again. Fucking managed to get down the stairs. Train turns up. You killed all the police. Fucking try. How do I get on the train? The door's open. It's right there. I'm trying to get in the train. I'm at the checkpoint, the little marker point on the thing. I'm not doing anything. Why isn't it working? Maybe I go in that door. Maybe I go in that door because this one didn't work. What the fuck? And train fucks off. Oh, you failed the mission. Do it again. For some reason, I'm on the point, but it wasn't registering that first time through that I was trying to get into the train. So it failed me. There's little bits like that in it. Like sometimes you have to be at just the right spot, at just the right time for it to work. But so there's loads of frustrating little bits of jank in it, but God, it's fun. To hear Kane fucking scream at himself as he's bleeding out over the floor, I just got such Max Payne vibes out of it. I loved it. It was great. Worth a try. Better with mates. Not quite game of the year.
Bless you. Oh, fantastic. Well, on the note, very much for joining us this evening. So you draws our next games night, which I haven't looked at the date in advance. Let me try this again. You can join us our next games night on the 4th of June 2025 at 20:30 GMT +1. You can also check out our next podcast, which will be on the 5th of June at 18:30 GMT +1. You can check out both streams at youtube.com/randnerds or twitch.tv/randnerds. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. I've been the Suffolk Ram.
Skazz, yes.
And we'll see you guys in a fortnight.
See you guys.